Well, good evening and welcome to this virtual um, meeting tonight. My name's Rick Milne. I'm the mayor in the village of Honeoye Falls, and I am proud to be here tonight with a group of fine people that work with the Rocktricity Group. And we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about community choice, aggregation, community choice, electric and energy supply. And why are we here? Well, the village of Honeoye Falls has been looking into looking into what opportunities there may be to support local renewable energy, save our residents hopefully some money on their electric invoices on a monthly basis. But the Village Board of Trustees over the last couple of years has really taken its time to follow different programs, to learn about different programs, and try to understand what opportunities there may be for our village community, for our residents to utilize renewable energy, gain their electricity from solar or wind or different types of renewable energy programs. And as I said, we've taken a couple years in doing this, and we've had a lot of different discussions with the Rocktricity Group. And we just really feel that we're at the right time now to move this forward. So this is our second virtual meeting. This meeting is being taped and it will be on the Rocktricity YouTube channel. It will be on the Finger Lakes Community Choice Facebook page. And you'll learn more about this tonight, but you're going to learn, those who are in attendance are going to learn a little bit about what the program's all about, how it works, and hopefully get a better feel for why the village is moving this forward. The village is not alone. The village of Lima and the village of Brockport are involved in this program as well. And it's a new program, but a growing program. And we feel that our residents overall are very interested in utilizing renewable energy, clean energy. So we feel this is a great step for Honeoye Falls. I thank anyone that's paying us a visit tonight. We thank you for being on this program, and we'll look forward to any questions you have. But with that, I just want to thank, and I'm going to pass this along to the Rocktricity team and let them take it from here. So Ben and Sue, thank you so much, and take it over.
Thanks, Mayor Milne. Yeah, we will take over and get started here. I'm just going to share my my screen here. We've got a PowerPoint presentation that we'd like to share with you all. And I'm hoping everyone can see that now. We're starting off with some hints for using Zoom. So yeah, of course, we're on a Zoom meeting, as so much of the world is these days. And this platform we're using, is probably important to note that your microphone and camera are going to be off for the course of the presentation. But we wanted to accommodate questions. So we have a Q&A session at the end. And so there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions. And if you need to ask a question, the way to do that is to use the Q&A feature in Zoom. And if you're not familiar with that, at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little toolbar there, and you should be able to pick the Q&A feature off of that. If you don't readily see it, you might have to move your cursor down there to bring that menu bar up. So as Mayor Milne mentioned, we're here to talk about some clean energy, a clean energy program that the village is engaging in. And as he's noted, there's a bit of a partnership here with our team at Rocktricity. My name's Ben Freevert, and I'm one of the partners at Rocktricity, along with Sue Hughes-Smith, who's joining us here tonight and will be engaging in the presentation, and Margie Pete and Melissa Carlson. So the four of us really make up Rocktricity. We're very much local to the area. We're really based in Rochester, although I live in West Bloomfield, so very close to Honeoye Falls. And we are also working with Jewel Community Power. Jewel really takes the lead in communicating and working with the electricity market, because that's part of the program, and with the solar developers, because as you'll see, that's very much a part of the program also. as well as the Public Service Commission, Department of Public Service, and the utilities. Those parties are all engaged also, and we communicate through Jewel with those entities regularly. So yes, the program's about moving toward cleaner energy, and the program's called Community Choice, and we'll go through some of the bits and pieces of.
Well, it looks like Ben's internet has failed him for the moment. So I'll pick up here. Oh, Ben, are you back?
I don't know. I might be back temporarily. It's hard
Okay.
for me to tell when I just keep talking. So
Right.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You cut out at Community Choice.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, the name of the program is Community Choice, and we're really putting this together with the village of Honeoye Falls, and as the mayor mentioned, the village of Lima and the village of Brockport, and those communities are coming together under the moniker Finger Lakes Community Choice. And that's just really a name for the program that allows us to get information out on the website dedicated to that, which is www.fingerlakescommunitychoice.com. So you can go there to get updates on the status of the program, maybe learn some other details or revisit some of the things that, that we talk about here tonight. So we're going to talk about what community choice is. We're going to talk about the elements of community choice, and there are really two parts there to that. We're going to talk about the benefits of community choice. And as you'll learn, many people will be automatically included in the program unless they take some action to opt out. And we'll go through what types of customers, electricity customers, will automatically be included and which ones won't, and how you can change that election if you'd like to. And then we're going to talk about what happens next, what you'll see in the community that tells you maybe the program's moving forward, and when you might need to take steps if you want to change your enrollment status. But before we dive into community choice, one of the things that we've learned as we've presented this information is that often not everyone really understands where our electricity is coming from, how it gets to our homes and businesses, the utilities' role in doing that, and what happens when we pay the bill. You know, although we pay directly to the utility, where does that money go? And how does it make sure that we're getting electricity at our homes and businesses? So we'll just take a step back very quickly. If you already know about all this, just bear with us. This part doesn't take very long. Currently, without community choice in place, the electricity flows, of course, from those entities that generate the electricity, and they put it onto the grid, which is managed by the utility. In our case, in Honeoye Falls, that's National Grid. National Grid's really responsible for managing that network of infrastructure, the poles and the wires and the transformers and the substations that move that electricity to our homes and businesses. And this really is the primary role of the utility. They don't generate electricity per se. They're really just responsible for moving the electricity, so that they're transporting it to our homes and businesses. And then, of course, we have to pay the bill. And when we pay the bill, we pay to the utility, and we pay for, there are two components, and you may have noticed this on your bill. We're going to show an example bill here in just a second, but we pay for supply and delivery. The delivery is the part that we're paying the utility for its job of getting the electricity to our house. That's where they make their money. That's the part that the utility is really focused on, is that delivery component. The supply component, that's for the commodity, for the electricity. And although we pay it to the utility generally remits that on up the line to the brokers in the electricity market, and they're communicating regularly and working with the generators to make that supply part of the program work. So as I mentioned, we're going to take a quick look at an example bill. And you'll see in the little red oval.
So you see the little red oval, you have delivery services and you have supply services. And again, the delivery services is the portion of our payment that is going to National Grid. And the supply services is the only part that community choice electric supply component of the program will impact. Okay, so the delivery charges will remain unchanged as a result of any of the decisions that at Honeoye Falls is presenting to the community. And actually, oh,
Can you hear me now?
now you're back, Ben.
Okay. Well, I apologize for that. Clearly that's my internet connection, which apparently is unstable this evening.
Yeah.
I'll try to just pick it up here and maybe pass it off to Sue very, very quickly here. So,
Yeah.
so this diagram really is showing both components, the delivery of the electricity to our homes and businesses, and then paying the utility, who, as I mentioned, remits the supply portion on up the line. This is without community choice. And I'm going to show you what happens when we put community choice in place. So what it does is it introduces renewable generation onto the grid. It in no way replaces what the utility is doing and what the utility's job is. And so if we have a power outage, it's really still the utility that we contact, and it's the utility that goes out and makes those repairs. So their function and their path toward their fees and profit remains in place and remains exactly as is. Okay, so now we're to the point to talk about what community choice aggregation is, and I'm just going to hand it off to Sue here, particularly given my unstable internet connection, and I'll try to just continue to be able to advance the slides.
Okay, great. So community choice aggregation is a policy, and it's a policy that the state of New York put in place to enable municipalities to determine the kind of automatic or default energy offerings that include electric supply and community choice solar. And the municipalities are making these choices on behalf of residents and small businesses. So again, this policy that enables the municipalities to take action. And so if you live in a village, your village has to have passed a local law. If you live in a town, it's your town. And if you're in a city, your city has to have passed the local law. So in this particular instance, the village of Honeoye Falls has gone through a public comment process and enacted a local enabling law that allows them to select the default energy offerings for your community. And this is regulated by the New York State Public Service Commission. And what is a default energy offering, right? So these are kind of the automatic decisions that we have now an ability to access. So right now, National Grid and New York State together determine what the default energy offering is. Community choice moved that to the local decision-making body so that your village board is able to select the local default offerings. And everyone who's eligible will receive the default offering unless they choose not to participate. And that terminology is simply called opt-out. We will work our hardest to make sure everyone is informed of the offerings so that they can make the choice to participate or not to participate. So community choice has two elements. The first part is called community choice electric supply, and that is where the community has directed the purchase of the electricity that you're consuming. Tends to be that per kilowatt hour rate that we're all very familiar with from our electric bills. The second component is community choice solar. And this instructs the utility to purchase solar generated electricity for the amount that you consume. And in return, you would receive guaranteed savings in the form of bill credits for supporting renewable generation. So again, diving a little into the details a little bit more, of community choice, the electric supply impacts your per kilowatt hour rate just for the supply portion of your electric bill. And there will be an option for New York State renewable generation. Those are some goals that community choice has for the electric supply. We also like to see a fixed rate being offered. You may notice that National Grid gives you a variable rate on supply. So any 1 month, the rate may go up or down a little bit based on National Grid's purchasing, whereas community choice programs are allowed to fix the rate, and so the rate would remain stable for a certain period of time. In any 1 month, the variation from the market may be above or below the fixed rate, but we hope to deliver some savings, certainly savings compared to a comparable renewable energy product that an individual might be able to access. Secondly, community choice solar provides support for local solar farms and helps bring economic development to our area. So this program, or these programs, are on behalf of residents and small businesses. They would be automatically included if they're eligible, and eligibility does differ by community choice element. And we'll get into this more in just a minute. You are always able to choose not to participate at any time with no fee or penalty, and that's true for either of the community choice offerings. So the benefits. On the right, you'll see a list of benefits that apply to both of the programs, Community Choice Electric Supply and Community Choice Solar. Both programs reduce carbon emissions in New York State. Both have consumer protections from a consultant negotiated terms and conditions. And both will appear on the same utility bill that you're familiar with. So one bill for electric supply and solar credits on your National Grid bill. There are some other benefits that are unique to each element. So in Community Choice Electric Supply, that allows access to more affordably priced renewable electricity and reduced price volatility through fixed rate contracts, where Community Choice Solar is guaranteed savings from supporting local solar projects. And it's this element that is really kind of groundbreaking that Honeoye Falls is helping to bring into existence, is a kind of first of its type program nationally. In addition, both of these programs, the way they're structured by Joule Community Power, helps to gain more sustainability dollars for the village. And that is through access to state grant money, as well as to a fund that Joule helps to establish. So often people are wondering if they'll automatically be included. And remember, it really is always your choice, whether you want to participate in one program, both programs, or neither program. That is ultimately up to you. But if you want to participate, and then you want to be sure that you're eligible. For the Community Choice Electric Supply, you're automatically enrolled if you haven't already enrolled with what's called an ESCO, or an energy supply company. You would know that by looking at your utility bill. And if there was no special name near supply, if it was just National Grid, then National Grid is purchasing on your behalf, and you would automatically be enrolled in the Community Choice Electric Supply program. Secondly, if you are not participating in a utility assistance program, then you would be eligible to participate in Community Choice Electric Supply. For the Community Choice Solar program, if you do not have your own rooftop solar, then you would automatically be included, assuming you are also not participating in a community solar project already. So you will only automatically be enrolled if you live within the village, if there's no block on your National Grid account, and you meet the requirements for that particular program. So here we are back to the bill, because people wonder sometimes, will my bill look different under a community choice program? And they will look a little different. For example, if you participate in community choice electric supply, you will notice a new supplier name on the section of supply services. Now, we don't know what that name is yet because we've not gone to bid for the electricity, but that is where the new name would appear. It would not impact your delivery charges or the job of National Grid. For the community choice solar program, this is really exciting. This is the guaranteed savings, and you will know that you're receiving those savings by looking at the very kind of bottom of your utility bill. Under other charges and adjustments, you'll see the words transfer credit / charges, and you'll notice a subtraction. We all like subtractions, so there'll be a minus and some dollar value, and that is for participating in community choice solar. So what happens next, Ben?
Well, assuming you can hear me, what happens next? Well, we're currently in the first phase of the community education about the community choice program. So we're sort of coming to the end of that first phase, but there's a few more steps. You may see some additional information both.
Oh, Ben, are you there? No. So in the first phase, we hope to deliver a letter to the community, and that letter would come on municipal letterhead so that you would know the program is official. The information is official from Mayor Milne. Are you back, Ben?
I think you probably better just go ahead and take it.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, and then the second part is once we go out to bid for the electricity supply and we finalize the particular solar fields that are associated with your community, we would have more presentations to give you those details, the price, the terms, the savings, the source, and give you the opportunity to ask questions. And a letter described as an opt-out letter gets mailed to all eligible residents and small businesses that include that same information, the price, the term, the savings, the source, and program of frequently asked questions, and what to do if you don't wish to participate. So all of that information will both be given in presentations as well in a letter. You'll know it's the correct letter because it will be on the village letterhead. And it's really important because often we get a lot of mail from different energy companies, and you want to be sure that you recognize that the material related to this program will be coming to you from your village. So questions, we're going to take questions. We have a few frequently asked questions that we'll go through first, and then we'll open it up to attendees. So first question is, what are my options if I don't want to participate in the community choice program? Well, again, when the program details are known, we will present what the information is specifically and how you can take an action to not participate. It has to be pretty straightforward and simple because the Public Service Commission requires that, because we think it should be. And so usually a phone call or accessing the website or returning a prepaid card is all that will be necessary, one of those things. Can you opt in if you already have a third-party supplier? This is an excellent question. In fact, oftentimes people aren't watching their electric bills, and then when a community choice program starts, they pull out that electric bill and they realize, oh, I did have a third-party supplier and they're not very satisfied with the rate that they're paying. Well, all you would need to do is call us at Rocktricity and we could help opt you into the new community choice program. Can you opt in if you're already enrolled in another community solar? This is a little trickier, and I believe the answer is that if you are enrolled in community solar, that you would have to first unenroll with that program before you can enroll in a community choice solar program. Often, the offers vary from project to project. So really that is at the discretion of you as the consumer to be sure that you know what the contract terms are of what you're already enrolled in. Will enrollment impact the reliability of my electricity? And the answer is no, it won't. So of course, the electrons are flowing in the electric lines all the time, and we simply are using electricity, and that energy is coming and going regardless of where it's being generated. And the community choice programs, while bringing more renewable electricity onto the grid, and is not the only source of the electrons on the grid. So you're not trading anything having to do with reliability by participating in these programs. Okay. And why can municipal governments make this decision without your explicit individual customer action? And that's because the Public Service Commission has enabled this program. It is one tool that the state is using to try to move renewable energy forward. And your municipal government, as Mayor Milne explained, went through a lengthy process where they considered the options, they held public hearings, and now they're deciding to move forward to offer you the opportunity to participate in these programs. Will you get two bills? The answer is no. You will get the same National Grid bill that you have before, just one bill, and it might look a little different, have some extra information, but otherwise just one bill. Okay. Are there any other questions that people have?
Hey, Sue, if I could, I'll just add in a point that came up on our first public meeting. And just as a reminder, this was something that was discussed earlier, but this program is currently for Village of Honeoye Falls residents only, in our community, I should say. So what the village has done on both our website and on our Facebook page, we have also put up the maps. There is one map that shows the Village of Honeoye Falls with the town of Mendon around it, trying to show those borders. And then the other map is just a smaller version that's just the Village of Honeoye Falls. So if you are in, just because your residence or your mailing address may be a Honeoye Falls residence, if you're outside the village boundaries, then you are not eligible to participate in the program at this time. That's not to say that the town can't move forward with a program in the future, et cetera, as this whole program grows. And I do know the town has looked at it as well. Again, this is something that any municipality getting into this program should do its due diligence and take its time to look at all the options, et cetera. So certainly not speaking for the town at all, but I do know they've looked at this program as well. But this is currently for Village of Honeoye Falls residents only in our community. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. And thank you for the question. Who pays for all the mailers sent to home and business owners? Excellent question. And those costs are assumed by Jewel Community Power or the winning energy supplier. So this comes at no direct expense to the municipality. Jewel is paid if they bring a successful program to the community, then they're paid through other means.
I have another question. This is Melissa from Rocktricity. If I have solar on my roof or my site, but it's not big enough, can I join the solar program to be able to get the excess that I need?
That is an excellent question. And I wish the answer was different because I have this problem at my house. But so long as your rooftop solar is net metered, you cannot take advantage of two programs. So the state has already incentivized our rooftop solar, and therefore they say we're ineligible for community solar, which does seem unfortunate, but that's the way that the rules are currently structured by New York State. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing that Facebook question. Anything else people might be thinking about?
Can you explain block on the account? You mentioned a block.
Oh, right. So sometimes people have not wanted to get junk mail or anyone calling asking them to subscribe to their energy program. And so they may have called National Grid and said, please place a block on my account. And that would prevent anyone from basically changing them into a new program. So that's what that means. You can undo that, but it does require you to notify National Grid to remove that block. So this is really a great opportunity for people who live in the village of Honeoye Falls. The community choice programs, the community choice solar is the first of its type in the nation because it is a default automatic opportunity for people to access savings, guaranteed savings from community solar without having to take any action, without having to go through a credit check or have any extra burdens placed on them. And so that is a really exciting nation-leading opportunity. And then the other component is a community choice electric supply. And that's the kind of more traditional approach for the per kilowatt hour rate of the electricity.
So I just want to say, if you can hear me,
You can.
Thank you, Sue, for picking that up where my internet connection was getting kind of dodgy there. But also, I'll just point out on this slide our telephone number. So if you have questions subsequent to tonight's presentation or at any point along the way, you can call us and we'll do our very best to answer your questions while we're on the phone. And if we can't answer it, we will find out the answer and we'll get back to you with the answer.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. And of course, you can email us. It's kind of a lengthy email, info@fingerlakescommunitychoice.com. And if you don't remember, you don't write it down, checking the website for Finger Lakes Community Choice, you will also be able to find how to contact us.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight to learn a little bit about this. Be sure to pass the information on to your friends and neighbors in the community so that they can learn that this program's coming and how it might impact them and how they can get more information. And yeah, thanks for being here.
Ben and Sue, again, thank you. And if you wouldn't mind, maybe one more time, I know this has been recorded. Again, where can folks find the recording again?
Sure thing. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Well, there are two places really. There is a Finger Lakes Community Choice Facebook page. So if you go onto Facebook and search for the Finger Lakes Community Choice page, there should be a recording being posted, shortly after we close the meeting out that people could see. They could also visit our YouTube channel. So Rocktricity has a YouTube channel. And if you go onto YouTube and just type in Rocktricity in the search bar, you'll get right to it, because I don't know that there's any other, anybody or company or anything named Rocktricity out there. So it should take you to that very quickly. You would be able to review tonight's meeting. You'd be able to review the meeting that we did, similar meeting for Honeoye Falls back in January, although there's a few differences there because we've learned some new information about.
Right. So the Public Service Commission has given us some new guidance. So our presentations are very similar. This one's been a little bit updated to reflect that new guidance.
Did I cut out again?
You did. It is good times in the world of, Zoom, but I'm sure everyone understands how these things go. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
thank you
thank you.
again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Milne, for having us and for moving these exciting programs forward. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone. One final apology for my internet connection. I don't know what to say. Sometimes things are just unstable.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
Good night.